In the middle of the Arizona desert, a crowd of strangers meet for one purpose.
You guys coming out here to help me out, I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart.
To help another stranger, a father desperately searching for his 24-year-old son, Daniel Robinson.
Since he was a child, he liked to challenge everything.
He was born with a challenge.
And I wanted to introduce him to prosthetics because he's born one hand. We quickly learned that that's something that Daniel didn't want. He let nothing stop him. He decided to be a geologist once he got into freshman year in college. He excelled that, he graduated with honors.
Daniel's first job is checking the viability of water wells in the Arizona desert.
He loved this area, of course, because of the rock formation. You're a geologist, this is the best place to be.
But the terrain became a hellscape for his dad when Daniel went missing back in June from his job site. And what number search is this?
This is search number 14.
Navigating the dangers in the desert, the Army veteran knows firsthand time is of the essence.
When I called the Buckeye Police Department, they told me that I had to wait an extra 3 hours because they had a 12-hour, report time when you can say a person is missing. Then I called them back and put in the missing person report. I got very worried. That's when I got very worried. I asked the Buckeye Police Department to go out and search that area. The officer told me that they were going to send a vehicle out there, a helicopter out to search for him. I was relieved. And then he called back an hour later and said, no, it was a no-go. I'm his dad, and he's my son. I've lost all sense of reality. At that moment, I said, you know what? They're not going to look for my son. I'm going to have to do it myself.
Before he arrived, police did decide to search on foot and with helicopters. This is the last place your son was seen?
The last place.
What do you think happened, David?
I think a lot happened here. I'm very suspicious.
But he doesn't know what. A month in, there's a break in the case, and police call Robinson.
I got afraid, actually, that it's going to be some bad news. He said, no, we just found his vehicle.
Some ranchers found it, and then at that point, we conducted our investigation and additional searches.
What was the condition of the car? If it had rolled over, it sounds like it was pretty bad.
Yeah, the car was on its side. The sunroof was kicked out at that point, so he might have exited through the sunroof.
His wrecked car in a ravine, both airbags deployed, Daniel's cell phone, clothes he was wearing that day, and a case of water all found at the crash site. But not Daniel. People don't just disappear into thin air.
True.
Does that sort of feel like what's happened to here?
Yes. Yeah, it's very, very challenging case.
No matter how much the family asks for this to be a criminal investigation, can you make that happen?
We can't make up evidence. Absolutely suspicious circumstances related to the case.
Frustrated and heartbroken, Robinson hired a private investigator. Where are we going?
Down here is where the vehicle was recovered from.
Is that the glass from the car?
Yes.
When you looked at this accident, what are the discrepancies that you noticed right away?
I believe it was in more than one collision.
What does the data from the black box of the car tell you?
That there was 11 additional miles on the vehicle since the airbags came out.
What does that tell you?
That tells me it was crashed somewhere else.
Does that sound suspicious? What explains that?
Well, we had the national expert that came in and provided us his findings, and then they ended up speaking to an expert at Jeep, and the expert says, yes, sometimes that happens, and it's not unusual.
But the data also shows someone tried to start the car 46 times after the crash.
That's something we can't explain.
It begs the question, again, the family is saying it's criminal. It's got to be he's in danger. Do something.
Right. No, I agree. But we need information. We need evidence.
He's got a lot of theories. His words, I think, were, I don't think they cared. What do you say to that?
Couldn't be furthest from the truth.
Losing hope, Robinson began pleading for media coverage.
It literally took 3 months.
While Robinson searched for his son, the country became riveted by media coverage of another missing persons case, the case of Gabby Petito.
In my situation, people think I love our children less or something, or they're less important.
In 2020, more than 543,000 missing persons records were filed. More than 480,000 were cleared. And 40% of the missing are people of color.
There are a lot of Gabby Petitos and Natalie Holloways in the Black and brown community.
That's why former police officer Derica Wilson co-founded Black and Missing Inc. and says too often their cases go untold. Eventually, local stations did stories and citizens began helping search. Did you know Daniel?
No, I just wanted to help.
You're just helping out a stranger on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Why?
You know what? I can't imagine what that man's going through.
As the search for Daniel goes into its 5th month, another family is in the midst of a terrible mystery for a 5th year. The family of Nikki and Ariana Fitz.
Ariana is very energetic, very happy.
2-year-old Ariana went missing under the most suspicious of circumstances in the San Francisco Bay Area in 2016. Her mother, Nikki Fitz, was found in a shallow grave in San Francisco's McLaren Park, but Ariana was gone.
It breaks my heart that Ariana's not with her mom and Ariana's not with her family, but it also breaks my heart even more is that I know that Nikki wants nothing more than Ariana to be with us, to be home.
Tessa Fitz says she is convinced her niece Ariana was taken by people close to Ariana's mother. San Francisco police searched for weeks. They had some leads, but no arrests. A digitally altered photo was made of what she may look like now.
And she's 8 now. I don't want to see this in a picture. I want to see her face in person.
Should Ariana Fitz be a household name like JonBenet Ramsey?
Absolutely. Why is her case any different from Kaylee Anthony? I can tell you, the color of their skin is the only difference.
For 5 desperate years, the family has continued searching using flyers, social media, and Black and Missing Inc.
Do you think it has anything to do with color?
I try not to put myself in the mindset of the race issue with her media coverage. All I want is for there to be the media coverage for her. I think she deserves that.
The Fitz and the Robinsons want only one thing, with hugging their missing children once again.
Do you think that Ariana is still alive?
I do believe that Ariana is still alive, and it would mean everything to me to know where she is and to find her. I wait for that day every single day. I believe that day will come.
How long will you search?
Till I find my son. I have to. I mean, he's my responsibility.
Sarah Seidner, CNN, Buckeye, Arizona.
It's now been 10 months since geologist Daniel Robinson went missing in the Buckeye Desert. His dad had been conducting his own searches near where his son's crashed Jeep was found.
Yeah, it's still a mystery, and with his son still missing, he says funding has run dry, and he's going to stop searching, at least for now. Brianna Whitney's been following the case for us, spoke to Daniel's father today. Do we know what comes next?
He doesn't even know what comes next. And I think what's so hard in this case is there's just so much unknown here. And that's what's so hard. His dad made a point to say just because he's pausing his desert searches does not mean he's giving up on the case. Because David Robinson has conducted his own investigation alongside law enforcement, he's working largely off donated funds. He says right now there's just not enough to keep group searches going after 10 months.
June 23rd, 2021. The last time anyone saw Daniel Robinson. Yet his dad, David, keeps one thought in the front of his mind.
My son may still be alive out there somewhere.
David Robinson drove to Arizona from the East Coast after his son went missing from his geology job site in Buckeye last summer. His Jeep found crashed about 3 weeks after. Since then, David has been leading organized desert searches with volunteers several times a month. They've found bones that belong to others, but never Daniel's. David says he relies on GoFundMe dollars to keep his own investigation and searches up. And he says the reality is those funds have run out.
The operations search, the organized search is on pause for now.
He says while searches are on hold for now, he's focusing on a different part of the investigation with items found at the Jeep crash site.
One of the biggest parts for me right now is to get the forensics work done for everything else that I found, the clothing, my son's wallet, his cell phone. There's another additional cell phone that was found out there doing my searches close to that area. That phone itself, also the work computer and his personal computer.
David says he's taking his efforts to the next level, filing a 501c3 Tuesday to launch the Daniel Robinson Foundation, where he hopes he can not only raise more money for his own investigation, but can also provide funding to other families dealing with missing loved ones.
The goal is to help other families to not go through the same thing I have been through just to get to this point.
While the Buckeye Police Department has not found evidence of foul play at this point, David says he still believes something criminal happened and says he will stay living in Arizona to see his son's case through.
I'm here until I find my son. That's what the goal is. That's why I'm really fighting. I'm doing everything I can to make sure that happens. I think any father, any mother would do the same.
Buckeye Police tells me Daniel's case is absolutely still active and an ongoing investigation. They're still working on conducting new interviews, looking at satellite imagery, checking financial activity, and working on forensics and targeted searches in that area. Live for Now in the studio, Brianna Whitney for Arizona's Family.
A dedicated father, no matter the result in that case. Brianna, thank you for that.
Thanks so much for joining us. Our big story right now on 12 News at 6. May 23rd will mark 11 months since Daniel Robinson vanished in the Buckeye Desert.
His father moved here from South Carolina and has been leading search efforts almost every weekend. But now he says donations have dried up and he's hitting the pause button on the search.
So what is next? Team 12's Josh Sanders has been following this story from the very beginning and has more.
Sometimes your body want to say, I can't do it no more. But my mind say, I got to keep going.
Nearly every weekend for the last 10 months, David Robinson has been here, searching the Buckeye Desert with volunteers, hundreds showing up to look for his son, Daniel.
10 months is a long time. Every day is that same thing over and over again. Daniel's still out there missing.
He's organized hundreds of search groups, using drones and other technology to canvass miles of desert terrain around the crash site of Daniel's 2017 blue Jeep Renegade. Daniel's clothing found inside out, boots and socks, wallet and laptop. No blood, no signs of injury, no signs of Daniel. He hired a private investigator and collision expert.
After the airbags came out, somebody turned that ignition over at least 46 more times.
David's teams even found human remains, but not Daniel's. Funding generated through a GoFundMe account. More than $250,000 raised through thousands of donors.
Everybody made that possible for me to remain here. Started off with roughly 200 people coming out there on weeks to go out there and search with me. That number has dramatically dropped. I'd be lucky if I get 20.
But that funding has now run dry, leading David to temporarily pause the desert searches.
The stress of the demands of trying to get the forensics work done on the vehicles and the clothing and everything else. Then I had to take away some of the equipment that's very vital and crucial.
Buckeye police do not have evidence pointing to foul play. Despite pausing the searches, David remains determined to find his son and help others with missing loved ones. He's in the early stages of establishing a foundation in Daniel's name to support other families with similar stories.
It's a nonstop deal for me. I want to make sure that the same thing that I have gone through don't happen to another family. So if I can help it.
Josh Sanders, 12 News.
My name is Daniel Robinson. I attend AC Flora, and I'm planning to major in geology at the College of Charleston.
Good job. When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family.
Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona.
As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son, and I remain looking for him. Thank you guys for coming in this morning. Q&A. My name is David Robinson. I am the father of geologist Daniel Robinson, who went missing on June 23rd in the Sonoran Desert of Buckeye, Arizona, on June 23rd. I'm here this morning to do a Q&A and also to usher in the fast and prayer for Daniel. As you guys know, today is Wednesday. It's also the fast and prayer that marks the 11th month that my son has been missing. That was on the 23rd. That was 2 days ago. There's the anniversary date, if you want to put it that way, of my son's disappearance out there on June the 23rd of last year. It's been very tremendously, very painful for my family to have to go through those couple of days. Of course, for this whole almost going on a year now that my son has been missing, is very, very difficult for our family, and a difficult time every time we have to be reminded monthly that our son is still missing, and also my children's sibling is missing. So there's always a constant reminder that we're not hearing his voice, not seeing him laugh and smile. He'll come and ask the questions that he asks. Go take his trips to do certain things that he does, being a responsible young man. So I want to thank you all for coming into this Q&A to join in with me on this fast and prayer Wednesday. This Wednesday, like I said, the fast and prayer is for the prayer asking God to bless my steps. So I'm here standing in the gap for my family, my entire family, and also for myself, and also I'm making sure I stand in charge for my son. He have nobody to speak for him. I'm speaking for him on his behalf. I want to make sure he get the justice that is due,
and the respect and the honor that is deserved. So again, I'm here on this Q&A to usher in the fast and prayer for Wednesday. Of course, we'll be praying that, like I said, God bring those answers and lead me into the right spot, or lead you guys into the right area. We find answers to what happened to my son and bring them home. Also, this fast and prayer is for other families. There's many families out there that have nobody hear about their stories. There's many of you that come into the comment section of this Q&A who have missing loved ones in the past, still feeling the pain of not knowing where your loved one is. So we're going to be praying for you also, that God give you some answers. And for those who need closures, that God would bless to provide those closures in some form of closure. You know, that's never be a total closure other than the person coming back unharmed and unscathed. But any other way, you know, say it'd be a type of some form of closure for some, even for my family. I'm praying for either way that God see fit for things to turn out. But we want to keep the faith that God can do anything, because he can. And we want to keep the faith that, you know, God will bring our loved ones back unscathed and unharmed, to bring them back to our family. So again, this Q&A is to bring in to start the fast and prayer for Daniel. Like I told you, I would bring it in by doing a prayer. After we get the prayer, that would be the start of the fast and prayer, that everybody who want to join in. And I don't put a time limit on there. Everybody know their limits, and also that's between you and God on your limits, or how long you want to fast and prayer. But the thing is, I will be coming back. I do have a Q&A this afternoon, this evening. It's going to be 5:30 Arizona time, and that'll be 8:30 out in the East Coast time. So you guys want to come back, I'll be praying again to close this fast and prayer for Daniel off. But that doesn't mean that you have to stop. It's just that I have the Q&As already scheduled for those times. So I will be on doing that for you guys. And I ask you guys, please, you know, saying, to just join in with us, me and my team. We like I said, we're having this Q&A, this fast and prayer today. And you know, if you guys want to join in, you can join in with me in prayer. I would start the prayer off there to start the fast and prayer, and after that, we'll go into the Q&A. If you guys have any questions, don't forget, you know, you have the questions, please put the word question there first. You know, follow your question, or a big letter Q, or some question marks or things like that as I come down the comment section. I will be coming down the comment section after I do the prayer and bring in the fast and prayer. I'll be looking for your questions. I would love to have your questions this morning for this Q&A. So again, I want to go ahead and start now. We're going to bow our heads in prayer and ask God for, and petition God for these answers. Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord Jesus, for this day. We thank you, God, for waking us up this morning, keeping us in our right mind. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for watching us from keeping us safe from seen and unseen dangers. We come together, Lord, in your name. Lord, you say where two or three are gathered in your name, you're in the midst. We come together, and we know that you will provide all the answers that we're looking for. There's many people out here that's joining in with me right now. And what I'm asking for, Heavenly Father, is to get guidance and directions to find out where my son is located, and to bring him back home to our families, to keep him safe, keep other family members safe. We ask you, Heavenly Father, Lord, to guide my steps, guide me in the right direction, guide me in the right place, Heavenly Father. Give me those answers that I have been looking for. It's been 11 months now since Daniel has been missing. You know, so you know where he's at, Lord, and I know you will help me find him. We have a lot of people here that's joining in with us in prayer. We come together with one mind and one thought, and that's for those answers that we're asking for. Heavenly Father, we ask you, Lord, to open those gates and let us know, Lord. Open up the answers that we're looking for. Lead me, like I said, God, in the right direction, the right place, at the right time, to be in the right spot, Lord. Don't let it go to a year. We're trying to push it over, doing everything we can. You know, say faith without works is dead. Put some actions to my faith. And Heavenly Father, I believe in, I'm a man of faith, and I believe that these things will come to pass. Also, we're praying for other families out there. There's many families out there who have missing loved ones, those who nobody even hear about, Lord, but you know them, Lord. You know them, you know each and every one of them. You know their families, you know the pain that have been suffering. They've been suffering. Some been suffering from years. Some been suffering for some days. Well, either way, Lord, you can comfort their hearts, comfort their mind, give them some type of closure, Lord. Whether there be some form of closure or a total closure, Lord, where someone that could come back, he can bring somebody else home. Lead that family, Lord, to the right place and the right time, and help them find their loved one safe and unharmed, Heavenly Father. We know you can. We know you're willing to do so. We ask you, Lord, to bless everybody who's here with their prayers and their petition. You know what they need in their life, Lord. You can bless them accordingly. We thank you, Lord, for help bringing them and put it on their heart to be a part of this Q&A, to be a part of this prayer and fasting, to join in with us, Lord. We thank you, Lord, for those people. We ask you to bless them, Lord. Pour out your windows of blessings upon them. Bless everybody they love, their families. Lord, Heavenly Father, keep them safe. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for this opportunity to have some type of platform to be able to spread the word for other families, not only just for our family, but for other families who need that. We thank you, Lord, for this foundation that you put on my heart to start. We thank you for the team that helped build that. We thank you, God, for all things. In Jesus' name, we pray, amen. Thank you guys for joining in with me in this prayer. Again, like I said, this is fast and prayer for Daniel Wednesday. It's bringing to commemorate that it's been 11 months now since Daniel has been missing, and I want to make sure that I do what I can as a father, whether that's spiritually or naturally, to be able to bring my son home. As you know, I've been out there since searching for my son since June 26th. Been out there in the desert for several months, for almost 30 some months out there searching for Daniel out in the desert. Again, I want to make sure I make this clear also that you guys see at the beginning of the Q&A where it says that I stopped the searches for now. No, I did not stop the search for Daniel. I would never stop searching for my son. That's really pretty much not totally accurate, but I have been put the searches on pause. And the only thing that I put on pause is the organized search for Daniel. That's organized, meaning that I'm asking other people outside of myself and my family or some of the team members, whoever want to go out there with me to continue to search for my son. I haven't been out there recently, but I'm still continually going out to search for my son. It's just that I definitely will not have a organized search for now. It's a pause because of several reasons, as you guys as you know already. But like I said, some people ask, hey, why you need funding to do searches out there in the desert? Many of the people who came out the desert would know it takes those fundings because, I'm a responsible man. I said before, very responsible, and to make sure not only I'm looking for my son, but make sure that the volunteers are safe and have all the things they need. And I'm really grateful for everybody who comes out there. And again, like I say, your family members, I love you. And I want to make sure that you're safe. You have families and stuff like that. I will not put anybody else at risk just to look for my son. So again, I'm very responsible. And when that time comes where we have those fundings and things like that in the proper place, the organized search will resume. So y'all look out for that. That's coming up pretty soon. Again, thank God for this foundation that we have filed. We're still working on that. When I say we, I have a team, very capable team, very, very intelligent young ladies and gentlemen to go out to help me with the foundation. Also, don't forget, like I said, the Day of Remembrance. That'll be coming up on June the 25th. If you guys can join in with us, make some plans, put that in your calendar. Try to do everything we can to bring awareness, not just for my family, because it's not just about our family. It's also about other families. And if you guys can join in with us on Day of Remembrance, like I said, you can visit pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and go under the events tab, and you can find all the information about the event that's coming up. Just want to keep you reminded of that. Like I said, it's next month, so have time to plan for that. I would like to see some of you guys come in from your different cities, wherever you're at. Please, by all means, come on out. So want to be able to highlight some of the other families, what's going on with other families. Also, you have any missing person in your family, please come out. Please come out to this event. So I'll really be looking forward to that. Also, I have an anonymous tip line. A tip line that you can be anonymous or non-anonymous. 24 hours, 7 days a week tip line that I'm paying for. Provide for those who know something, who have information that would bring Daniel back home. It's time. I put that on Twitter this morning. It's time to move. It's time to make a decision. For those who may know something and listen to my Q&As in the morning, it's time to speak out. It's time to speak out. It's time to end the suffering of my family. If you have the answers, I really would be grateful if you can leave a tip that would bring Daniel back home. So as a family member, and speaking of the gap of my whole entire family, I am the family. Of course, I'm the father. What I'm saying is definitely if you guys, on behalf of my family, if you know something, we're asking you right now to go ahead and speak out and give us those answers that we need. So you don't have to talk to anybody again. Like I told you, if you want to, you can text the word tip to that number, the same number you see scroll on the bottom of the screen, and you don't have to talk to anybody. You know what I'm saying? You can still remain anonymous. That's what anonymous tip lines are for people who know something, just reluctant to say something or scared or whatever the case may be, that, some repercussion may come to them for speaking out. That's what tip lines are for. Anonymous tip lines are for. Like I said, I provided 2 avenues for that. You can call if you want to talk to somebody. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week. Or you can text the word tip to that number where you don't have to talk to anybody. You don't even have to talk to me. Just go ahead and give that tip and let me know where my son is located. Also, if you want to just talk to me, you don't want to talk to anybody else, you can text or call the number you see on the bottom of the screen. I can't tell you that number is a public cell phone. When I say public, it's my cell phone, but I use it for the public. And that number is not anonymous tip line. So I can't guarantee you being anonymous if you use that number, unless you're using some type of burner phone or something like that. Other than that, you need to call the tip line or text the tip line. So if you want to stay anonymous, again, either way it goes, whatever's in your heart and your mind, we really need the answers. 11 months is long enough. 11 months is long enough to hold something back if you know something. Everybody have a conscience. Everybody have something within ourselves by nature to say something. When you see something that's not right, you can say something. So definitely, please, if you have those answers, you know something, you have some clues, some things you really know, not something your opinions or whatever or you think. I know we definitely need some answers that will bring my son back home. It's 11 months. I'm really trying to get it done before this year. This year, he's been missing the entire year. So end our suffering for our family. So you can do that if you utilize that tip line. Of course, you can go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com for all the information you guys need concerning, anything you want to help-wise. Sign the petition, which I say sign the petition, but put your voice to that petition. And, saying we definitely need you to do that because some things are happening with that petition where to be utilized in the right way. So first, I want to tell you all, thank you guys for coming in this morning to this Q&A. And also, like I said, for the fast and the prayer, I really appreciate you coming out and joining us with the fast and prayer. And also joining in with prayer. Those are the ones who bow their heads with me in prayer and joining in like the fast and the prayer. Like I said, thank you so much. We need that unity and strength. I need everybody to be a part who can. Also, I want to just, like I said, again, thank everybody who's coming in. Thank you, Sassy, for being here this morning. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thank you for your prayers. Also, T and Wildflower, good morning to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Jocelyn, for being here. I really appreciate that, you guys coming in this morning. Also, thank you, Deborah, for being here. And I'm really grateful for like those channels too, CNN and some of the other ones who took their time out to broadcast Daniel's story. A lot of journalists and reporters out there. Sarah Seidner is one, done very good. She's very gracious, has spent a lot of time, a couple of days with me with that taping out there. So very passionate lady. So I'm really grateful for the CNN crew, like I said, who have helped, and many others that helped put Daniel's story out for these months. So I'm really grateful for those. But like I said, though they are passionate, they do work for someone, and sometimes those avenues dries up as the story get older. So sometimes that's what happened. When the media decides that they have to move on to a new story. But like I said, that's what this Q&A is for. That's why I have you guys, for you guys have been supporting. And I know you hear the support my efforts. So that's why I'm grateful for that, because you guys can like, share, subscribe to this channel. If you haven't already, you can do so now. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And that helps with the algorithms and help the story get out. That's the reason why I developed this this channel, this YouTube channel, with the help of Gizla K, of course, Grizzly True Crime, who helped build this channel. I'm really grateful to be able to do that, get Daniel's word out on my own. I ask every family who have a missing person in their family. I just talked to one gentleman who have a missing mother recently. His mother went missing. He had to do the same thing, put your mother's name out there, put the name out there yourself. Whenever the media dries up, you have the avenue to be able to build a platform for that family member. Build that platform, put that name out there as much as you can. So that's what I'm doing for Daniel, is to make sure I have a platform to speak about the case. That's what the Q&A is for, to speak about Daniel and things like that, and have these events and things like that to bring awareness for other families, also to help other families. Thank you, Barry, for being here this morning. Thank you. That's right. Today is the fast and prayer. We don't forget that. Thank you guys, like I said, for joining in with us on the fast and prayer. Thank you, Deborah, for being here this morning. 3 months is too long. 3 months has been a long time. You probably referring to, I believe, it took 3 months to get media coverage. And it did. It took 3 months to get it. It was really hard work. It's hard work, but you know what? God bless that. Some of those picked it up. So it took a viral tweet, and also it took my hard work to push Daniel's name out there. And ultimately, it took some tragedy for another family to really put a narrative out there with this speaking about the disparities that also helped get Daniel's name out there, unfortunately. So, but at the same time, the biggest part is you guys for your word of mouth. I have many people who text and inbox me saying, hey, they're spreading Daniel's story, passing out the flyers to, you name it, hashtags, whatever you guys are doing. It really helps out. Every little bit of it helps, whatever you do. So I'm really thankful for everybody who plays a part in keeping this operation going to find my son. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Again, you guys got me up to 1,000 subscribers really quickly. And with 1,000 subscribers, that comes with a lot of things. So it comes with a lot of things. So that helps out a lot. And when I say it comes with a lot of things, it helps me move farther to get Daniel's story out even farther. So thank you also, Rachel, for being here. Thank you so much for putting the hashtag fast and prayer for Daniel. If you guys can do that on your YouTube channels or your all your social media accounts to get those algorithms going. The hashtag fast and prayer for Daniel, to bring in, God forbid, if we have to continue another fast and prayer that bring in more people who want to join in on the fast and prayer the next time. Be really difficult. Also, it's going up to a year that Daniel has been missing, next month. So, that's one of the things that's always heavily on my family minds, heavily on my mind. I want to prevent that from happening. I'm trying to do everything I can to find them. So, all right. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Carolyn, for being here so much. And thank you so much. I really appreciate all your hard work that you have done out there in the desert. Thank you, first of all, for serving this country and being a veteran, a fellow veteran. I really appreciate everything you did, like I say, out there in the desert. You've been there, every time, you come out there to the searches with me, standing by my side. I really appreciate you doing that, and also helping out in the city distribution, passing out those flyers and things like that. Come and get your stacks of flyers and stuff like that. So I'm really grateful for everything, your whole entire participation when it comes to your labor. I call it labor of love. Your labor of love when it comes to helping me get Daniel's story out there. So God bless you. I miss you. I miss seeing your face. So hopefully I get to see you real soon, maybe at the flyer distribution. But definitely grateful you here this morning. Also, if you guys have any more information, please go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com for all the information you need. Like I said, if you want to volunteer to get information, to putting your voice to that petition, saying you name it, passing out flyers, creating your own flyers, a PDF there. Go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com for everything, the events that's there, the events tab, and so on. If you want to volunteer in other ways tab, put your skill sets there. Like I said, it's all there on the pleasehelpfinddaniel.com website. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. All right. Thank you, Shauna, also for being here on the Q&A. Thank you so much for all your hard work and everything you've done. Welcome to Wednesday's Q&A, the fast and prayer for Daniel. Thank you for your continued support and dedication. Yes. And that's what we're here for everybody to get information. If you guys have questions, I'm looking for those questions. I will be coming down to the comment session. Look for these questions. If you have those questions, please, by all means, ask your questions. This is still a Q&A. Also a fast and prayer for Daniel. But definitely want to answer your questions. If you guys have any questions about the case, or just want to know, that type deal, make sure you put the capital letter Q or the word question in all caps, or some question marks or something where I can come down the comment section and find it. I will be strolling down the comment section. If also pay attention to the moderators. I have moderators there in the chats who also put out some information there, team members and some alike. So I'm really grateful for them working that comment section. I really appreciate this hashtags that you guys put. Thank you, Ruthie. The hashtag fast and prayer for Daniel. Y'all keep that rolling, keep it going. We'll come down to the comment section. I keep seeing that. Thank you again, Carolyn, for putting that up there. Hashtag fast and prayer for Daniel. Thank you so much. All right. I also would like to say it's a Q&A time. Who's going to ask the first question of the day? Yes, I would like to see that. And I do see a question. I thought I seen the question coming up. That's you, Shauna. Thanks so much for putting that up there. So that will show this here. If you remember, if for easy citing, put the Q's there or a question mark or the word question before your questions. It make it easier for me to see it. So I will be going down the comment section looking for that. If you have those questions, I do have the first question of this morning. I really appreciate that from Sima. If I say your name incorrectly, I apologize, but thank you so much for being here on the YouTube channel. The question is, are you taking care of yourself, Mr. Robinson? There must be a huge pain in your heart. It is very much pure. And I laugh because, that was an unexpected question, I thought it'd be more directed to what's going on with Daniel, but I really appreciate that because that means that you care about my well-being also, and I really appreciate that. Yes, I'm take care of myself as much as possible. I'm taking care of myself, and trust me, I have a team. I have Gwen, I have the team, and everybody else who's around me, trying to push and make sure I do so. So, sometimes we get so involved, really deeply in my situation, especially. He's my son, so of course, sometimes you neglect yourself, trying to do everything you can to find your child. So, and then you have to be reminded, hey, David, get some sleep. Hey, David, you need to eat. Hey, David, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And I definitely have team members, like I said, I have Gwen there. I have, some other people who's really, really pushes me to, do those things. So take care of myself, like you said. It is very much a huge pain. One of the biggest parts is because of my training. I learned that sometimes you have to put those certain things aside, and try to stay with the mission. And my mission is to find my son, and I'm really working hard doing so. Like I said, but I'm definitely standing in the gap for the family. That meaning, so far, even his mother, Daniel's mother, his siblings, and things like that. So, try to make sure that I give them answers that they're looking for when it comes to Daniel. So it's a heavy burden at times, but I have people like yourself. Like I said, I have like yourself, Seema. I have everybody who's in this chat. Every walks of life. People out there who probably don't even come to the Q&A, but they help in all kind of other ways from different cities and different states. Encouraging words and things like that. That helps out a whole lot. So that takes away some of that pain. Just knowing that people are there to have your back. So we'll actually stand by your side. Again, I'm David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. My son Daniel went missing on June the 23rd of last year. It's been 11 months now since he's been missing. I've been out searching for my son and been doing this since since the day he went missing. But actually getting into Arizona, it was on the 26th of June where I had to start my own searches, and that was based on the inaction from the local police department. That's the reason why I made a quick move to get to Arizona as fast as I can. It's urgent. You guys got to always remember that the first 24 hours of 24 to 40 hours is very crucial to find anything. They make a whole television show called The First 48 Hours, and they didn't make that just for a title or something that just sounds good, a catchy phrase or something. No, it's actually a fact that these detectives have to do certain things within that first 24 to 48 hours if they want a good outcome and really cracking a case or really know what's going to happen. This Buckeye Police Department didn't even search for my son out there in that desert till almost 3 days later after he went missing. So that's the part I'm saying. So when that happens, that clock ticks, and that's what happened. Unfortunately, because of that inaction, it is now 11 months that my son has been missing, without them having any kind of answers to that questions. They didn't want to look for those questions. I recently, anything that happened now from this point, because you guys pushing that department, is because the media and it's because of my hard work that pushes this department to even pretend. I don't know if they're pretending or if they trying to do something now and they say, hey, we got an investigation now after they gave me all the stuff from the scene, all that. If they doing an investigation now, and that's only because you guys. That's because you guys are pushing them. They've been put in the spotlight and all that. But before then, they had so much as in, like I said, they only did the first search almost 3 days after my son went missing. They did another search after that 2 weeks or so later with the Civil Air Patrol. And then after that, they did a net search of the day when this vehicle was found at this scene. They say all that stuff that they say. Only thing I can confirm is that one with Civil Air Patrol, because I was there recording outside the gate. So for some reason, they didn't want me to come in that desert with them. They didn't want me to watch what they are doing. They made sure that by putting the vehicle there at the gate, so I couldn't come in, couldn't get my vehicle through there, that type deal. But then they came up empty-handed. And since then, they haven't done any kind of search, no matter what your guys say, what they try to put on the report as if they doing. Oh, now they're saying they're doing some targeted searching. Okay, but in the area where this vehicle found, so they double talk. They're saying, hey, we did extensive search, Mr. Robinson, when this vehicle was found. That whole area for so many miles. I mean, it's a lot of miles for hours. Extensive searching with dogs and all the stuff. But now they're saying to date, this year, that was last year. This year, now they're saying the same as that spot. They say they did all the stuff. Now we're doing targeted searches in that spot. You can't double talk yourself and try to make yourself look good, and you don't make sense of what you're saying. So, but what I am saying is definitely I'm trying to do everything I can to take care of myself. But in the confines of everything that's going on, I have to stay mentally sharp, of course, and that comes with taking care of myself. But at the same time, it's hard to try to relax and stop when my son still remains missing. And the only reason why I'm doing any of this stuff is because I love my son and I want to find him. So thank you for your question. I have another question here from Rachel. Thank you, Rachel, for being here this morning from on the YouTube side. Is there any reason why Arizona officials, leaders have not acknowledged your presence or efforts to find your son almost a year? What a disappointment. Like I said before, it is a disappointment. It was so disappointing and hurtful to me that I had to go to the city council meeting. I went up there twice. The first time I went there just to see how they do things, just make myself present, just sit in the seat. They knew who I was, especially when Chief Hall was up there and Chief Sanders and some of those guys that know me. When they saw me walk in that door and sat down there with also a couple of my team members, they knew who I was sitting in there. These guys, I was no stranger because I met them. Of course, I dealt with that department, and we had to. I had to give them information when I first got in Arizona. I was working with the department to try to help find my son. That's automatic. That's what you do. You go to the people that you're supposed to serve and protect the community. You go to them for answers. You go to them for help. And I tried that, so they know who I am. But the disappointing part is after that, I started thinking about that. So I went to the next city council meeting and spoke out. Hey, look, man, it's been months. I brought in all these people to your city. All your a lot of the volunteers come from the city of Buckeye, coming out there to my desert searches out there, searching with me in that dead heat. A lot of some of the people out there in Buckeye was donating their money to my cause to find my son. We were out there in the desert finding human remains, solving some cases for that city, and bringing, highlight that something's going on in that desert, and also the fact that, like I said, the media coverage raining down on them because it went nationally, and they still haven't said as much as hello to me. That was just very disappointing. It's still disappointing to this day because I went up there, and still to this day, like you said, Rachel, they even haven't even said hello. The city manager haven't said hello to me, send me a letter. The mayor looked me dead in the eye at the city council. I gave him my contact, him and his vice mayor contact, and they still don't want to say anything to me. They talk to the media. They put all the stuff out in the public, put stuff, but don't talk to the family, don't talk to me, and I'm on ground zero. The city councils, they all looking up there, just holding those high positions for that city. What's going to sit all of them. I'm speaking to mayor, all of them. Have all those positions up there, and don't even look at me with their stone face, and still don't have a heart or any kind of empathy to even say something to me, a hurting family member, on behalf of my entire family. So solving cases for their city, to find out what happened to some other people, loved ones, who may be people that live in Buckeye, who's out there, no remains that we found, maybe families who finally got some type of closure. And I hope they did the right thing with those remains that we have found out there, so they can get those family closures. But the whole fact of that, just to watch that, I don't even so much as get not just Buckeye, but it's going to the whole state of Arizona in a sense. The governor had to speak out to me, and I know they know what's going on in the city of Buckeye. Also, that goes on to some of these other places, other officials, like you said, that haven't spoken out about anything what's going on in this Daniel Robinson's case. You know what I'm saying? When like I said, they offer no help. I have never had law enforcement help on any of the searches. All that kind of efforts, the money, the whatever's going on, helping from you guys, your generosity, and also, like I said, you coming out there physically helping when I called and asked, and you guys showed up. So, of course, yes, I don't give no props to any official because none of them reached out to me, no matter what walk of life what position they're in. None of them reach out, but you guys have, and I'm really grateful. That's why I call you family. You're like family to me, so thank you. Also, like, share, subscribe to this channel, and spread Daniel's story. I really appreciate it, you guys, for if you continue to do that. Thank you, Alana, for being here this morning. Thank you for being a part of the board team. I'm really grateful for you. So being here this morning to support, I really appreciate it. God bless you. Also, again, if you guys have any questions, please, by all means, please ask your question here. And I'm looking down the comment section. I do see one here, and it's from Rumors. Thank you, Rumors, for being here this morning off the YouTube channel. Is there any privately owned land in that area Daniel went missing? Yes. Matter of fact, one side of this scene here is private land. The other side is federal land. The vehicle is on federal land. After I got mapping from BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, but according to the agent I spoke to at the FBI, they relinquished that responsibility to Buckeye. It belongs to Buckeye, he said, to handle that case, even though this vehicle is on their land. So that type deal. But yes, there's some private land out there, a lot of private land out there. There's a lot of ranchers on those lands. We've been fortunate with the searchers to be able to search a lot of that land. Like I said, there's still some areas that need to be searched. I'm really pushing for that. I have some videos I will be sharing with you guys. I have not been out there recently, but I have been out there kind of recent. The last time I've been out there, of course, I had to go out in the desert, still searching for my son. At the same time, I have some investigative stuff I had to do myself. So I don't announce that, but yeah, there's some land out there that's private, but it's also some areas that's state land, state land, and also federal land. So, all right, everybody have any more questions? Thank you for your hashtag again. Thank you also, Kathy. Thank you, Rachel, for your hashtag. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to put those questions in the comment section. And I'm looking for that. Let's see here. I thought there was a question here. Okay. No, don't have any more questions here so far, but if you guys have any, please don't hesitate to put them there. I will be looking for them coming down the comment section, like I said, to find them if you have them. Of course, this is Q&A. This questions and answers for Daniel for this case. You guys have this channel. This channel is not an entertainment channel. I do want to say that. I want to put that out. It's not for entertainment. It's for awareness, and also, like I said, also for awareness, and also to, answer your questions, and also for things like events and things like that. And also, I want to be able to help other families. That's what this channel is for, to highlight other cases. I have been reaching out to other families. Again, I told you before that the families feel just like I did at the beginning, reluctant to come on camera as much. They got to get called. Hey, I'm gonna let you know, Mr. Robinson. So I'm still waiting on some of those family members to, want to come on and share their loved one's story. That's what I want to use a platform for, not just for Daniel, but also to help other families. I think there's a question here from some beach. How many other people were out there? If I'm not sure with the question, it's kind of broad there, but on my assumption, I think you were asking maybe about the human remains. I don't really know. All I do know is the numbers that I came up with. Be more considered is if we find everybody have two femurs. I always use that example. Everybody have two femurs. We find three, that means two people, right? So that's how I do my count. So if I find some vertebrae, and it's the same area of the vertebrae, and there's three of them, that's three people. If I find a shoulder or something, whatever the case may be, we find multiple where there shouldn't be more than two, for instance, then we know that's another person. So rather we find another bone one place and one a different place, because that's the part that bothers me the most about having to pause my searches right now, is when what I learned is when those unfortunate family members, I'm gonna call them family members, on that ground out there that we found, they scattered. They end up with bones at that point, of course, and they're scattered all over the desert. You got animals that live out there. They may be feeding on the bones and things like that, and pull them around. You got the washers, the water. They may be moving them around and things like that. So those type things happen. If you guys have any questions, and I somehow missed your question because the comment section kind of jump around. If I miss your question, please feel free to ask those questions again. And if I miss your question this morning, so I will have a Q&A this evening. Like I said, it's 5:30 this evening, Arizona time. That's California time as well. But it'll be at 8:30 on the East Coastern time. So, feel free to bring your questions back again this evening. I'll be happy and grateful to answer those also. But also come to that Q&A to I'll do a prayer this evening to end the fast and prayer session for this event for Daniel, the prayer, fast and prayer for Daniel. Again, that's just because the Q&A is always at 5:30, like I said, Arizona time. It was later than that, then we can end it later than that. But don't mean that you have to stop your fast and prayer. It just means that I have to do that because of the put the prayer in because that's the time I designate for fast and prayer. For the Q&A. Thank you, Kathy, for your question. Would you like for us to flood the mayor's office with calls and or letters? If you want to, yes, by all means. If you want to, let it be under your own choice. I won't direct anybody to email because I'm still trying to figure out if there's some type of spamming law with that. I've been hearing that from my attorney at one point, was checking into that. But just make sure that I'm not, directing people to break the law in a sense. So I want to make sure of that. But as in the calls and the letters, yes, by all means, do so. You can do that if you want to. So please, yes. That's what happened the first time. I think if the department is trying to do something, which I don't trust their efforts, that's only because of what you're saying, Kathy, with the calls. I know the calls because you're flooding the phone calls, and I'll continue to ask you guys to continue to do that. But and the letters that also help also, so they're getting the flood of letters, concern from people like yourself. So yes, I encourage that. All right, Some Beach, thank you for your question. Is Daniel car in working order when you got it? I haven't cranked it. Nobody's tried to, I think, crank the car. If so, it would have been my former investigator at the time. Tried to crank the vehicle for, I don't know if they did or not. But I think he haven't. What I think I remember him telling me was that they didn't try to crank it because they don't want to clear the ECM, the computer, in the vehicle. So make sure they kind of pretty much don't tamper with that. So, but they did get the turn it on, of course, the key on, I guess, in a sense, to get the information off the computer. So other than that, it appeared just by just looking at it, I don't see anything that would suggest that the engine got crushed or damaged or something like that. I'm not sure. Of course, I can't tell you that either. But that's just my opinion, my non-expert opinion. So, but just looking at the vehicle from afar. All right. T and Wildflowers have a question here. Mr. Robinson, can you request a meeting with the mayor? Yes, I can. Maybe through your attorney or an advocate if necessary. Yes, I can. One of the things I want to do also is have a one with the city manager as well. City managers give the Buckeye Police Department their budget. That's where the money comes from, and so they're just as much responsible for make sure this department doing their job, and the mayor as well. So yeah, those are two of the things I will probably look into. Like I said, sometimes I wonder how effective that would be. So when that time comes, it's always about planning, and we have thoughts. So that I have a team. We talk about certain things like that, and opinionated based on people's action. Like I said, actions speak louder than words. I've been out there, searching for my son for months. You guys been out there searching for my son for months. You guys have been very vocal. Like Kathy was saying, y'all giving out letters, to phone calls, to whatever, and it still haven't moved these people to reach out to my family and myself. And I'm here on the ground. You don't have to reach out to anybody. I'm right here in your face in Arizona, and they didn't reach out to me. So the fact that I came out to the city council meeting, like I said before, and they still haven't moved them to reach out to me. So I say to myself, may have a meeting like that in their face, how effective that would be. How would that make them move? You can't change a person's heart. You can't change their mind. They got to change it themselves, and they got to want to change. They got to get off their defensive level or whatever the case may be, and they got to want to change. One thing for sure, like I said, actions speak louder than words, and those actions sometimes can already tell you what to expect. I just go up there, and it'll be the same thing as a presence. Hey, I'm in your face. Now what? Saying this is what I need. This is what my blog get my, what I need. And then afterwards, I can't have my assumptions based on their actions. But yeah, it's sometimes you have to do things like you're saying, T and Wildflower. Sometimes you have to do it just have a paper trail of things that you have done. So yes. All right. Rachel, thank you so much for this morning for your question. If the Buckeye Police Department merely told you that Daniel was the one who pumped his gas, why didn't they provide you with proof that it was him? And that's a lot of questions about that. They say we got this and we got a video. Yeah, I have never seen that to this date. I can tell you they sold. I call it just disrespectful. One thing is, I could have easily said, yeah, I seen the video and it was Daniel. I can identify them as that. They haven't seen Daniel other than some picture. Even with police lineup, they have to have a witness outside of the police that will say, hey, yeah, that's the person. Unfortunately, at a crime scene where there's some person that's deceased, the loved one had to come, or a friend, or whatever the case may be, had to come. They could look at the person, say, yeah, that's the person. But the person of that family had to come out and identify that person, right? So you'll think it's plausible for them to say, hey, we got a video of your son pumping gas or something, for instance, and it's plausible to say only person that can really identify the person would be myself and my family. So it's disrespectful things like that. Very disrespectful when they tell me they have video footage of my son at that Waffle House, and they had it, but they take it's almost like me playing a video on my computer here, and I take a camera from the computer and take pictures of the video itself, and then send it to the police department. They be like, hey, we need the video. We don't need no pictures. But that's what they sent, to say, hey, we got a video, and they took pictures on certain screens, which is ridiculous. I mean, I can tell you many reasons, but it's part of my investigation. I can't put that out. But some things was really ridiculous the way they do things when it comes to stuff like that. So, but yeah, you do have some evidence that at least his card was used, and I'm gonna say it that way. Allegedly, it would have been Daniel pumping some little change, which I don't understand. He have an SUV, by the way. Why he would be thinking like $2 or $3 worth of gas? What's that going to do to an SUV to get him anywhere? First of all. Second of all, he wasn't. There was no evidence that he was carrying some type of gas can that he's filling up. What he's going to do with that little bit of gas to do anything? So, so some of that is questionable. I think there's a lot more answers to that than what they want to lead out to. They probably don't even know. They didn't even know it's some red transfer paint on the vehicle. So let you know how detailed they really is about things. So, so that's the kind of things right there. Yes. The gas right there, I still was looking into that and trying to understand why would there only be that certain amount of money used in a way. That's just a way to somebody say, hey, this car being used or whatever, try to put them in a place at a certain time and all that kind of stuff. I do not know, but we'll find that out eventually. I do have a question here from Esther. Thank you, Esther, for your question. On the YouTube side, Buckeye said it is an ongoing investigation where you need leads. Hall says on his template letter, no leads. Yeah, I mean, they always double talking. That's what I'm telling you guys. You guys look at that report. Don't just believe stuff because you read it, because like I said, if you go back through it and I give y'all the original report and we go back through it together, which I'm planning to do again soon, you'll see all the discrepancies. You'll see things like what you're saying, double talk, and things like that. That just covers up, in my opinion. Just cover up to make themselves look like they're doing something or they did something. And it is more and more they dig into that, they're just making it worse for themselves. Because people like yourself record these things. And then they'll go back and try to fix that. Then you say, hey, that ain't what they said the first time, that type deal. So, it's going to be one of those type deals. It's like, how can they get leads if they do not have done no forensics testing? Of course. What leads are they on about? And that's the thing that I asked them. So I asked them, I did hear from Detective Biffin, of course, saying that he's checking into a lead that recently, you guys probably know some of that. Some of you guys have been following the Twitter and things like that, know what lead I'm talking about. But, some of those things myself, and I checked with them to see what they got. So, he gave me some type of assurance that they are looking into it. Let's put it that way. And I'm also looking into it myself in my own way, so to make sure that I can do my part of finding out information about this lead that we do have. But like I said, again, what you were saying there right there, Buckeye said is an ongoing investigation, which you need leads, right? You do. It is double talk. So thanks so much for your questions. Again, like what Shauna said here, if you have any suggestions or on resources to tap into to get further in the case, ask Mr. Robinson if he has considered. Yes. And I really appreciate it because you know what? Just like when Shiro's Nation came and asked a question, that took my investigation in a different direction. You know, you guys, when you ask questions, I'm depending on you guys. Also, I'm just only one man. I don't have a department. I don't have a whole department dedicated to investigation. I have a team. Like I told you guys, God blessed me recently to have a team that came together, some young ladies and a gentleman that came together to help me, and they right here in this chat. So came together to help me organize some things. They came to me with I had some ideas. They seen a need, just like you guys. You see a need. They came forward and say, "Hey, Mr. Robinson, I want to help you do this, blah blah blah," and they have been helpful. Like I said, you know, but I don't think of everything. I can't think of everything, but that's where you have other people like yourself. You know, thank you, Shauna. First of all, you're one of them we're talking about. But you know, have people that come together like Shiro's Nation, who comes out to this Q&A and ask the questions, and those questions leads to in my investigation leads to me looking at things in a different direction. Some reason I'm a person that really love logic. When I say logic, it had to make sense to me. Like on this scene right here, from what the Buckeye Police Department told me, didn't make sense to me. What it told me that they didn't do anything. Oh, I'm gonna tell you the reason why. One of the key things were if you really was doing your due diligence and you really was checking into what happened at this scene right here, that looks highly suspicious according to Chief Hall on the CNN interview. One of the things, first of all, you look at the scene and you're like, you know what? We need to canvas this scene. We need to take pictures with forensic markers. We know where everything was located and catalog it. That's what the markers are for. To catalog things, where they're at, what we found, this and that, and blah blah blah. Right? Do the detective work, the real detective work, as if it's a crime scene, because we don't know what's going to turn out to be. Right now, we think it's just a missing person, what we're hearing, blah blah. But we never know, this might turn into something criminal. And at least we'll have these evidence here, this evidence locker, blah, blah. So that's number one. That's rule number one. I think that's like what Detective 101 or something, which this department haven't done. The other part is let me know that they haven't really cared. The vehicle's tires was full. All the tires are full on the scene. If you see something like the pictures I have seen, I have many pictures. Those tires, none of them was busted out or torn. That only happened the way they tore that vehicle out of there. No care at all. You can even see the trench in the ground to this date where they dragged that vehicle out of there really violently, right? And bust the tires. They bust the tire upon pulling it out of there, right? Dragged it off the rim almost, getting the vehicle out of there. The other part is their story, the Buckeye Police Department I'm talking about, their story of the scene. Hey, the car flipped. This is how to detect. It flipped and rolled. I mean, just telling me these details. I mean, it's killing my brain, killing me mentally. Flipped and rolled and twisted and went in and landed on the side or something like that, right? I'm thinking all this in my mind is violent thing. But the good part, Mr. Robinson, is after all that, the good part is we don't believe he can sustain no injury because there was no blood in the vehicle, and he had his seatbelt on because the way the seatbelt locks, we know that when the seatbelt locks when you're in an accident or something or other, that type deal, right? The other part is they said he pointed out when he was showing me the picture. He kicked the sunroof glass out. They came out through the sunroof. He kicked the glass on the ground. Kicked the sunroof glass. You know, hindsight, I didn't know at the time, but hindsight now, that sunroof don't even have a glass. That lets you know how much detail they really would know about that vehicle or try to even learn about the vehicle. Don't have a sunroof glass. It don't even come with a sunroof glass. It comes with a door or with a panel, and the panel is stuck under the front end of that vehicle. You know, so then, like I said again, it took my investigator. They had that vehicle for some days, holding it for me. They released it to me the day after, but holding it for me, put a tarp on it under my request, and also until I can get a tow company and find out where I'm going to tow. I was calling Daniel's lien holder, where he's making payments to and everything like that, trying to find out where to take this vehicle at, how to give it back to them in a sense. It took those couple of days. But what I'm saying is they had the vehicle in a compound. and still didn't see the red transfer paint on the vehicle itself. So, so that lets you know what detailed stuff they really was caring about or things like that. There's a whole lot of answers. So I look at logics. That's what I'm saying. Things that make sense to me. You can tell me anything you want to. You can write whatever you want to on the paper. But like I say, actions speak louder than words, and common sense is always one of the biggest thing, that tool that God gave us is common sense and logics. If that what you're saying just don't add up and don't make sense, then I don't like it. Then I'm gonna talk about it. So if you want to do the right things the first time, and then you don't have to sit there and organizational wise lie about something, just try to make yourself look good, because it's making it worse for yourself. And I'm gonna keep talking about it. So, all right, thank you, Rachel, for your question here. Do you think Buckeye Police Department does not want to involve the FBI or other outside influences because they could easily uncover and expose what they might be going? It very well may be so. There should be an internal investigation on the department itself. There should be an internal investigation on why, my son's case wasn't handled a certain way that it should have been. Why I have the vehicle? Why I have all the clothing from the scenes? Why am I the one have to do forensics work that haven't been done? Why are they saying they did forensics work and try to after the fact now, because of media pressure, try to form ways and twists to make it appear that they've been doing forensics work at the scene, that type deal. So yeah, we definitely need to have those type of internal type things going on. So yeah, I mean, it could be very much anything. So I don't want to put it out that accusing them of anything, but I can tell you their actions is not good. Their actions speak louder than their words. And but I do know one thing: they falsified a lot again when it came to what you're saying. Oh, we've been working with outside agencies. To this date, y'all, I have not been reached out by one agency outside of Buckeye Police Department. I have not been aware, from family standpoint, not from you guys' standpoint, because you guys, of course, not involved. Not one time in any other agency out there in this world reached out to my family other than Buckeye Police Department. There's no other agencies has been involved in my son's case outside of the Buckeye Police, other than the case briefing that they did with the FBI to give them information what they have done so far. And I'm sure they presented in a way that everybody's, hey, they're doing a good job, just like they're saying to you guys in the public. But as in when it comes to any agencies, there's things that I've seen what happened in that case that went national along with my sons. None of that ever happened in my son's case. I've been out there in that desk for 30-some weeks searching for my son, and not one agency, not even the Buckeye Police Department, came out there to help me in my efforts to find my son. They came out there twice under my request because on specific reason, I sent the Chief Hall a letter 2 times. The first time I sent him a letter to invite them out there to my searches because I needed help with certain equipment. I needed some drones. I needed some way to search these deserts. I had specialized, I had specific things I needed from this department that they should have been doing out there for us before we did. I shouldn't have to been out there doing it. But when those guys came the first time, they came literally empty-handed. I'm like, what are they out here for? Just to walk with us? They're not doing anything with their hands in their pockets, riding in their little vehicle and one little razor they brought. Then the second time I wrote a letter because this letter was asking for the FBI and also to point out that my son went missing after we found all these human remains that we found out there. My son went missing in this crime scene out here, and he couldn't deny that because I again CC'd the city manager in this letter and some of those other officials, the mayors and all that, in this letter to Chief Hall, and so he couldn't deny that he received that. Yeah, he sent those officers out there. Again, they came partially empty-handed. They didn't provide any of the things I specifically asked for in that letter. I even asked for them to invite this nonprofit organization who had those specialized drones, who told me to also tell the Buckeye Police Department, which I did, it wouldn't cost them a dime. It's in that letter. It wouldn't cost them a dime to have these specialized drones that I needed out there to properly search for my son out there in certain areas that we couldn't reach and things like that. They couldn't, as far as I know, they didn't even do that. But when they came out partially empty-handed, I had to get them to come out during a week later after that date, which they did. And then when they did, they came out with some little, I keep bitching about the little white little cadaver doll, little fluffy little thing, and also the cameras that couldn't be submergible underwater. And they only searched one well, that the one that my son supposedly haven't even been to. They searched that one and didn't go in the water to search the water, what's in the water. They came to the water surface, and really the guys was upset because the camera barely touched the water, I guess, and the bottom of the camera got wet. They was really uptight about that, but that's the only thing they have done out there in my searches on my request. So, like I said, the actions speak louder than words. I definitely, feeling the pressure and the pain from the fact that since day one, I wasn't afforded help from law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? They can say what they want to say investigation wise. I have never seen in history in this country where family would go out there and look for their loved one, and law enforcement not standing by their side to help them, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? I tried to go help them with Civil Air Patrol, like I said, to go search for my son. And they have the Civil Air Patrol search, the second one they claim they did, and they blocked the gate so I couldn't get in to be a part of looking for my own son. For whatever reason, I don't know why I had to be so secretive about why they didn't want me to see what they were doing out there when they called themselves going riding that desert that day. I have recordings of that. Why they feel like they had to block me from seeing them, whatever they was trying to do. In my opinion, to be honest, I was using my binoculars out there and I was watching their vehicles as far as they came, and they made that right turn. Now where I know where it's going towards that well site. Those are dead ends once you get to those certain point in that of that going north. But they never came back out of there. So in my mind, I say maybe they just parked their car down in there and they all just having tea and coffee or something and wait for a little length of time and then come back out and say, oh yeah, we did a search. Because I haven't seen them literally for the hours that they claim they put. I didn't see them drive back out of that area, going back south or whatever case, or look like they're going west or something from my binoculars. But I'm not accusing them of that, but I haven't seen them. They disappeared once they was going north because of terrain, like I said, it's highs and lows there. I couldn't see them from a certain vantage point, but I haven't seen them come out before they disappeared. So that type deal. But I do know that one vehicle was there to make sure that I didn't sneak in the gate, I guess, to follow them and see what they're doing from that point. So, all right. I do have Ashes to Ashes here for the question on YouTube. Thanks so much for being here. I recently found out that newer vehicles have an automatic 911 calling system when airbags deploy. Have you checked the 911 call logs center for the day around July recovery? I haven't heard anything about that on that vehicle. Maybe I need to do a little bit more research about that vehicle. A lot of things I've been doing out there. My main concern was running this search for Daniel, the desert searches out there. That was one of my biggest things. My son was out there, and my mind was geared on rescuing my son. And also, when the vehicle showed up, again, even though it was almost 30 days later, was rescuing my son until the reality had to knock on my shoulder that this no longer can possibly be a rescue mission. It had to be a recovery. And it was hard for me to say it for a while. I was talking to my investigator at the time, team members, desert team members, and it was hard for me to finally say, yeah, we're on the recovery. But one of the things was being focused on that. I left things like that, what you're asking about, Ashes. I left that to my investigator. To this date, he's paid. And to date, I'm still waiting on a report of everything to answers like that, what he found. I need those full report. I'm going to reach out to him again to try to get those reports, but it's been months now. I'm still waiting on the final report from him to find out things like this, because I can't go do it myself. Outside of like I said, doing research and things like that, I can do that myself. I got an investigator who can do that himself, but my former investigator. He's an accident reconstructionist, and that was his job to know about the vehicle and find out those types of things and know about that stuff. So one of the biggest part about that is like I said, just getting the information to find out if that vehicle indeed has some system like that. I haven't touched that vehicle to this date. Never touched it. Never been closer than 3 feet. When the first time I seen it with Detective Biffin, and then the other time was with my investigator, like I said, asking the reconstructionist at a later time, and I was probably a good 15 feet away from that vehicle, and never been that close to see much. The only thing I have visually inside that vehicle, first of all, is mainly pictures at all, other than the time when Detective Biffin opened that back door, and I seen some kind of NYPD bag and some baggers of what I now know is the samples that came from the well. So that type deal. All right. T and Wildflowers have a question. Is it possible to connect with other families of missing persons in Buckeye and Tempe area and form a coalition to put pressure on LE? It is possible for that. You know, one of the biggest things is finding these families. I really want to find the families to get them on this Q&A too. But, it's one of the things to find, and I'm sure there's some families that probably would like to do that. Just finding those families and being able to ask these families to do certain things. I even find it hard, like I said, to get families to come on here or to share their stories. So we'll see. We'll see about that. All right. Thank you, Sophia, putting it. The A-team is grateful for being here to find Daniel. I know you are. Thank you, Sophia. I really appreciate it. Thank you all for the A-team for being here this morning in this Q&A and in the chat. So they're helping me out, and they're helping me out in every other area. Like I said, guys, God bless me with this team. And from since then, this team has been doing so much. Sometimes I'm just so amazed that some of the things that's getting accomplished in the background. Like, man, I mean, this, like you said, like you yourself, Sophia, they have business, and you have your own business, and you have your own things going on, other team members, but you guys have take time out of your own life and help me with this situation. So, I'm always gonna be grateful. You're definitely family to me, and I love each and every one of you. Did the police tell you? A question from Kathy. Did the police tell you where in the vehicle was Daniel's phone and wallet found? No, they did not tell me exactly where. They just say he was in there. But his wallet was not in that. It was in his pants pocket, out in the pile. So, but the cell phone, yes, it was in the vehicle, according to the Buckeye Police Department. Yeah, I just put it that way. That's the only thing I can say about that one. So thanks so much for that question. Right. Okay, we have Shauna here. I'll just put that on there. Speak his name, Daniel Robinson. Wherever you travel, share his story. Share, please help find Daniel.com. And if you guys can do just that, that will help out with everything I'm doing here. And on this Q&A to making awareness, to having the events that the team worked really hard on, things like that. So I have a little issues right now behind me. I got my little pillow falling out my back here, but y'all guys see me kind of moving around. But yeah. So I have my team that's really working hard on that. So to make sure that we get the word out about Daniel's case. In the meantime, of course, I'm still working on make sure I'm out there finalizing, hopefully get that point I can finalize this areas of search out there in the desert, because I want to get those searches back up and running again, because there's some areas that definitely need to be searched that's still left over. I do have some areas that have to be searched again, so definitely want to make sure I get those accomplished. And because if you guys put yourself in my shoes, I've been out there in the desert. Sometimes people don't really understand the snoring in the desert is huge. And one of the biggest things about that is, despite of the planning, my planning for the searches out there is based on science. We have meetings. We have meetings every Wednesday. We was out there doing the searches. So those even when the investigator was a part of those meetings, where we're doing things from an investigative standpoint and from a science standpoint, logical standpoint. And then when I say investigative, like the 11 additional miles, the searches was based on that once the vehicle was found. And my investigator found those 11 additional miles on the vehicle. That was included with the search. One point with the well site, we still can't forget that. How far can a person walk what happened at the well site, how concentrated we need to be around that well site. How far can a person walk without collapsing with everything, with clothing, food, water? How far they can walk in a desert, and why would they walk that far in a desert? So, without clothing, in his circumstances, we couldn't assume that he had clothing. So it was also based on the fact that all his clothing's on the ground. The water in the vehicle is accounted for. He didn't touch the water there. So that indicate he didn't take any water with him if he was somehow in that vehicle. He was injured, possibly, all that kind of stuff went into the thinking of how far do I do the searches, where the grids go. So I'm not out there in the desert for anybody who may think so to search the entire Sonoran Desert. That'll be ridiculous, and it wouldn't make sense. But everything that we're searching out there was broken down into grids, and those grids and those sectors is set up to from a science standpoint on how far a person can go. In my son's situation, not everybody's situation, but in my son's situation, that is plausible for me to search. And with all of that, what I'm saying is, in all the weeks that we have been searching with the equipment that I can provide, with being responsible, like I told you guys before, I had to provide those equipment to get those certain things done for myself and my investigative team, and also for the search team. It's still, after all of that, there's still areas that still need to be searched after all those weeks, believe it or not. Had we had the right kind of drones and things like that the Buckeye Police Department can provide and things like that, I'm sure that we cover a lot of ground a lot faster, and we wouldn't be having any idea. We'll have answers to say in a more conclusive way that Daniel is not out there in that desert. So I wanted to make sure I can rule that out mentally, from a science standpoint, and mentally. We can't be 100% sure. Can never be 100% sure, but we can kind of rule that out. So that's what I'm working on. Again, thank you guys for being part of this Q&A and coming in this morning. I really appreciate it. Again, this is a fast and prayer for Daniel. For those who joined in for the fast and prayer, we'll be continuing this fast and prayer once I'm off this Q&A this morning. It'll go on all day until you're ready. Hey, you want to do it for a couple of days, it's fine. Everybody have their limits. For me, it'll be today. I'm not necessarily ending it with the Q&A this evening. That just, like I said, I'll be doing a prayer for the ending of the fast and prayer for the day. You guys can continue to go on with your fast and prayer, or you can end it right then with the prayer. It's just that, like I said, the Q&A is always on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Arizona time. That's Pacific time, also for California, and then it's also at 8:30 p.m. On the East Coast time. So just want you guys to just to know that I'm grateful that you guys had decided to join in. I think like Ruthie out here putting the hashtag there, fast and prayer for Daniel. You guys can share that on your social media accounts, all of your social media accounts. That'll be very, very helpful. If you guys can start putting that on the comment section, I can see that now. I really appreciate that. But I do want to go through the banners one more time here before I get out of here. The Day of Remembrance. I don't want you guys to forget that. If you guys can come along and join us on that. Again, that'll be on June the 25th. That's next month. If you guys can put that in your calendar, please be a part of that. We had a lot of people that showed up for the candlelight vigil. That meant a lot. We needed those numbers. You guys showed up. I'm really grateful for those who came out. Definitely want to make sure that you guys come out for this event here, June the 25th, 2022. Put it on your calendars at 6:30 p.m. To 10 p.m. Downtown Phoenix. So you guys can come on there and you find all the information about that. Please visit pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and go to the events tab. And you can get more information about that. And you can RSVP now if you can, or you can RSVP a little later. But I just wanted to make sure you put it in your calendar. And this it's the Day of Remembrance. For Daniel, and also for people who want to share their stories. If you have someone that's missing in your family, your loved one, we really want you out there to share your family story. You can bring your table, your booths, your flyers, and things like that. Definitely want you out there. It's a very important event. It's important in many ways. And you guys can come out who don't have any missing family member that will come out and support and help these families and help my family get awareness about these families and things like that. Get the word out. It's important. I know how it feels to not know what to do, get in that position where I had, came out to Arizona. Only person was here is my daughter. First thing I didn't know anybody. First thing I had to do with my daughter, had to go around to parking lots. I mean, this crazy stuff like that. Going to the Red Cross, reaching out to the NAACP. I mean, there's anybody we can think of just riding around Phoenix, riding around trying to get the Buckeye. We did some leads ourselves. We found some guy called and said the vehicle, not called, but put information on Buckeye comment section about some vehicle he saw that appears to be like this vehicle, Daniel's vehicle, out in a certain area in Buckeye. My daughter and I and Gwen too went out to check this area out. So I'm just saying there's a lot of investigational stuff have been going on at the beginning from a family standpoint, and also just being out there. Just doing all that stuff ourselves at the beginning, didn't know anybody. And there's a lot of families that have to go through that. They don't know anybody or what to do next, who to reach out to. You reach out to the police department, they're not doing what they should do. And then you don't know who else to turn to, because those are the people that you really trust. But I guess if I was a person who didn't have the kind of mindset that I have, if my family didn't have the kind of mindset that they have, we wouldn't have realized that this, where I call it, for being nice, without saying the words here, there's a lot of BS to me was going on at the beginning that pushed me and prompted me to do more for myself and do more for my family. I'm a leader of my family. When I say family, of course, me and Daniel's mother's now divorced. We're still friends, but I'm a leader for my children. I'm definitely going to make sure they're safe and taken care of, and adults or not, And the thing is, one of the things was not going to happen is to let some guys who got a badge and a gun sit back and do what they want to do, and then feed me BS, like I said, and I'm supposed to accept that when it's not logically sound. I check into stuff. I don't take your word for it. I check into stuff, so they can say what they want to say, but they better believe I'm checking into stuff. So. And then if you get caught up in your lies, I'm going to voice it. So, so those kind of things. So that just made me lose confidence and make me lose things. So like I said, there's a lot of families that are going through that right now. And it's sad. It's sad, that families have to go through that. But this family, this man here is going to say something. And I want to make sure that any other family don't go through the same thing. That's why God blessed me to have a passion to want the Daniel Robinson Foundation to be able to help other families. Nobody should have to go through that. Nobody should have to go through stuff like this when you're dependent on the department, and then this goes on, and all thing they can do right now is try to make themselves look good. But you have everything. They already gave you the proof that they're not going to try hard as they could have, and things like that. So, definitely want you guys out there. I don't want to take away from the Day of Remembrance. It's just that it's not just for my family, it's for every family, it's even for your family. So if you guys can please come out there and be a part of this Day of Remembrance on June 25th, put it on your calendars. We'd love to see you out there. So thanks so much for paying attention to that. And again, don't forget the anonymous tip line there. So utilize that for those who are out there right now, who knows answers to what happened to my son. And just reluctant to say something. That's what tip lines are for. Please, by all means, just please, so utilize that tip line. Also, don't forget today is the Day of Remembrance. I'm sorry, I apologize for putting that up there again. I meant to put fast and prayer there. The fast and prayer for Daniel's today. Hashtag fast and prayer. If you guys can share that on your social medias, the hashtag fast and prayer for Daniel. Definitely want to make sure that we, continue to pray and fast today, and also continue to pray every day for answers to what happened to my son. You guys have been here from day one. Some of you guys just join in, and saying that's how I got this far. Here it is, 11 months, going 11 months for me personally, searching for my son, and going on 12 months, a year that he's been missing. So you guys have been there, and I would have never made it this far. The way things are going, like say with the city distribution to the searches to, you know, all the stuff, being able to stay on ground zero, all that came from you guys. So I thank you so much for that. Again, I would never forget that ever again in life. I would never, ever forget it. So thank you. All right. Let's see who else I got here on this comment session. If you guys have any comments, please don't feel free to ask those questions. I think I have a freeze up here on the screen. So y'all bearing with me. I'm trying to get this banners to at right here. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm going down to the last little bit of questions here I have there, and I will be ending this Q&A. I watched your interview on Well Sleuths. Trista offered to help at the close of the interview. Has she given you tips the next steps? Yes, very much so did. Yes, sure did, and also made sure she gave me an email, not just that. So I'm really grateful for that. It's been a very pleasure to be a part of the show, for her to give us the opportunity to put Daniel's story out there. So I'm really grateful for that. And thank you for watching Tea and Wildflowers. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I do have a question here from Rachel. Is there any way for those online to interact on this day of remembrance? Perhaps a video highlighting those who come to share their stories. Yes, I'm sure there will be. I will be checking with. We definitely have some meetings with the. I will be having meetings with the team, and we'll be talking about things like that. So all that information will be on the website. Also, will be on the website for you guys if you want to, find more about things like that. Saying whether there be some live streaming and things like that. So we had a little bit live streaming last time. Hopefully do a little things. Definitely want to work on that live streaming part of it. So guys, for you all who cannot definitely make it, can also do that. But we're really trying to ask you if you can to push it, if you can. I know that's asking a lot for you guys to be a part of it. But it's a very, very important event. I really know that it'll be worth it. It'll be a year that my son has been missing. That's one of the biggest downsides for me and my family. Every time I think about that, you kind of hear me pause. It's a hard thought that can actually come to pass. That Dane's been missing for a year, and it's very difficult to even think about it. How time just flew by so fast. You're out there in the desert working hard, and then you realize, you look up and she says, "Hey man, it's coming up to a year. Your son has been missing." I talked to his mother yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. Of course, because we had the 23rd was 11 months to see how she's doing. She's holding up. Of course, it's difficult for her still, but she's holding up. She's holding up best as she can. But definitely want y'all to make sure y'all remember her too. Dane do have a mother. And you need to talk, just pray for her also. Make sure that God can put some comfort in her heart, and her mind. So, excuse me, I get a little stressed out, I lose my voice a little bit, so you hear that. But definitely, year coming out next month, and if you guys can be a part of that this event, we'll be gratefully appreciate that. Again, my name is David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. I was here doing the Q&A this morning, also ushering in the fast and prayer for Daniel. Thank you all for coming out, being a part of this Q&A. I hope I see y'all this evening at 5:30 p.m. Arizona time. That's also specific time for California and anybody in the West Coast. Also, that'll be at 8:30 p.m. out on the East Coast. Definitely, you guys can come in, join in for that Q&A. I will be closing off the fast and prayer, but also be answering your questions, especially the ones I couldn't get this morning. You can bring your questions back again. I would love to give you those answers, and I'd love to put out some more information. I'll be consulting with my team. There may be some other things I can share on that Q&A as well. So, all right, I love each and every last one of you. I'm really grateful for you coming out again. Like I said, I hope I get to see you again. Thank you so much for your support. God bless you for everything you have done or everything you're currently doing. Those who left me text messages, I will be going through those text messages today. I looked at my phone yesterday, and I have a lot of them to go through. And I apologize it's taking me so long to get to that point. But I have a lot of work that I had been doing in the background. Y'all couldn't imagine. But I do see the text messages. I just couldn't respond to them. And also those who have the messages in the inboxes of Twitter and things like that. I will be reaching. I'll try to put some time today, a couple hours a day, to make sure I go through those inbox messages and also the text messages. So thank you so much. God bless you. I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful day, and keep fasting and prayer in your mind. But also don't forget, it's not just for Daniel, but it's also for other families. God bless you. Take care.